everyone, this is Kathy. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to talk about the case in front of the Supreme Court concerning the LGBTQ books in a Maryland elementary school. And let me just read a little bit about what the case is. It's 6 parents, including those who are Catholic and Muslim, are seeking to opt their children out of classroom readings of books with LGBTQ characters, arguing it violates their First Amendment rights to religious freedom. The parents in Montgomery County, Maryland, were initially allowed to opt their children out of these lessons, but the school district later removed that option. Now, I know this is going to be kind of a controversial subject to some people, and I have my own definite opinions about it, but I'm going to reserve my opinion till the end of the video. Right now, I want to show you a couple clips concerning the case, and let's just take a look at it.
Monumental Supreme Court case on parental rights. The top court hearing oral arguments on whether elementary schools can force kids to read books on gender and sexuality after a Maryland school district introduced a new inclusivity initiative and withdrew its opt-out policy. Then a group of parents responded with a lawsuit claiming their religious rights had been violated. Some are Muslim or Christian. Earlier, I spoke with one of those parents.
It was not merely reading, it was instruction. And you can find in the court documents how the teachers and principals were instructed on how to approach the children and instruct the children with a very one-sided answer and approach to any questions that would come naturally from the children when these heavy topics are introduced.
And it's looking likely that the Supreme Court will side with the parents after the justices seem taken aback by the content in these books.
I too was struck by these are young kids, picture books, and on matters concerning sexuality. I suspect there are a lot of non-religious parents who weren't all that thrilled about this, and then you add in religion, and that's even more serious.
Monumental Supreme.
So Justice Kagan is an Obama appointee, obviously liberal, and she seems to be opposing the books. Now, I want to show you this second clip. This is Greg Gutfeld giving his opinion, and I thought it was pretty interesting.
If you know, you know. Gotta watch it 3.
Do you know we have to? This is the most important point of this segment. This is not about gays or lesbians. It's about activists. No reasonable gay wants to be part of this story. No gay wants to talk to your kids. This is the phenomenon of the activist, and it's ruined the gay brand. Once they added T to L and G and B, it was over. Gays, what did you think about? Your gay best friend, fun, creative, artistic, the best person to go out drinking with because they're hilarious. Or shopping. And then the T got attached. And with that came all this activism. And it sucked all the fun out of it. And suddenly it started becoming this invasive thing in people's lives. And gays and lesbians are like, hell no. We don't want any part of this. This is not us. This is where, again, identity politics has blinded its followers to the basic concerns of most, if not all, Americans, including gays and lesbians. Nobody cares what you do in your house. Don't compel it on my family. We will fight you every step of the way. The percentage of children who identify as non-binary has more than quadrupled in the past, 5 years? That's evidence of a psychological contagion that has been spread by social media, hijacked by men who cosplay and women who are mentally ill. If this were a phase among kids, it would be great. But now you have activists who are exploiting that phase to somehow justify their miserable life choices.
Okay, there's a couple points that he made that I want to address. And the first one is that I do agree with him about the activists. I think there are definitely activists that are pushing this agenda of the LGBTQ in schools. And that's evident the last 4 years with Biden, the explosion in support for transgender, the idea that there are so many transgender kids coming out and saying they are transgender. The whole idea of the men in women's sports, men in women's locker rooms. These kinds of ideas were definitely foreign prior to Joe Biden's administration. And the last 4 years, Joe Biden, we've just seen an explosion of things, in my opinion, that are very immoral, like what I just described. The whole idea that Trump had to come in and start fighting and writing executive orders to keep men out of women's sports, keep men out of women's locker rooms, it is absolutely absurd. We would have never talked about that pre-Biden. Same thing with these books, these sexual books dealing with, gay sexuality, transgender, drag queen, the drag queen, reading hour in elementary schools. None of that stuff was ever a reality prior to the Joe Biden administration. I don't know what it was about those 4 years. It was just 4 years of immorality that ascended on our communities. And it actually is very mind-blowing to me that became the norm. That if you complained about those things, you were the weirdo. You were the one who's out of line. So concerning these books, it is definitely my opinion, they have no place in the elementary school curriculum. I don't even think that children whose parents don't have a problem with it, the ones that were okay with their kids hearing these books, I don't think the books should be in school, period, for any child. I think it's up to the parents to teach their kids about sex, and hopefully they do in a very responsible way. I don't think it's up to strangers to teach your kids about sexuality or talk about sexuality. And the parent in the video who was saying there's instruction that is going along with these teachings. Obviously, kids are going to have questions. They're going to be curious about what they're hearing. This is all new to them. And the teachers are definitely going to put their spin on it or their opinion. They may even be in that lifestyle, and they will definitely have an opinion or instruct the kids based on their lifestyle. That's just my opinion. That's just how I think this stuff is going to go down. So my opinion is they have no place in elementary school whatsoever. It's actually kind of mind-blowing to me that these kinds of books were even written or published. But they have no place in the elementary school, even for children whose parents think that it's okay. I just think that if you want to teach your kids about that kind of sexuality, then you can teach it in your home, but it has no place in school. But let me know what you guys think. I'm very interested to know people's opinion on this. There may be people that really disagree with me, and let me know. Let me know in the comments. I appreciate positive or negative comments. Anything you have to say, I appreciate it. And maybe if you're down there, if you could hit the like and subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it. That would help my channel out a lot. But I appreciate you guys. Thanks for supporting me, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.